Bitcoin may be on the mend. We're going to check in on MicroStrategy for the trade that I had put on a few days ago. Someone is buying our favorite Bitcoin miners on this channel. And we've got IWM still on a heater today. I'm also going to do a little bonus thing at the end here with two different tickers that I'm going to show you and talk about here at the end. One of them you know, one of them you might know, or maybe not. We'll see. Anyways, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is moving up today. You can see we are up 1.27%. That's something to be happy about, especially after we got these tweezers here the last 2 days. We had that tweezer, bearish tweezers right there on the last 2 days of trading for Bitcoin, and everyone was saying, oh, that's bearish. It's going to come all the way back down to 55.8. Now, it still can do that, but if we get a closure above 58,236 today, so 58,236, which would be the top of these two candle bodies right here. If we get a closure above that, oh, well, we're going to be moving on up from here on Bitcoin for at least a little while. This yellow line gives me pause here, which is also coincides with this green descending trend line here at about $60,000-ish. That is an area of concern because that is the middle of the ATR bands, the average true range bands, and that could be an area of significant resistance that we may slam into and find that we are actually going to be back down at the $55,000 level soon after that. So we do need to watch that level. With this yellow line, honestly, I like this trend line. I'll keep the green trend line, but it's also this yellow one on the ATR bands that we're watching for Bitcoin. But today is a day to rejoice. It is doing well. Something big happened with MicroStrategy yesterday. They announced a 10-for-1 stock split, which will be taking place, I believe, August 6th, maybe 7th, somewhere in those days here, which means you need to own the stock on that day, like the very last day before the split, in order to get your split. Now, I am playing this higher now. So you can see here on this chart, I actually entered on this red line. That was pretty good. Like that was, I nailed that bottom. Don't always nail it that good. That was pretty sweet. Anyways, I've been holding through since the 8th on MicroStrategy. It hit our first take profit zone, which is this orange band here today, and it is going to likely close above it. Now, I have originally my big take profit zone was going to be 1486. I was looking to just swing it for like $150, $200 in about a week or two. That was my initial plan. But they announced a stock split. And with that stock split, I now need to raise this because I'm expecting something similar to like with NVDA on MicroStrategy, where it will climb up and up and up and up into the split, and perhaps even a few days after the split, we may see this continue to rise. So originally I was looking for, that 1480 range. Now I'm thinking maybe even, honestly, well, let me draw a trend line. Let me draw a trend line and I'll show you. So somewhere here, right? So we're going to get above this. And if we close above this trend line, I'm looking for this descending channel to come to an end. If this descending channel comes to an end, I'm honestly looking for it to return to up here at about $1,700. And that would take my one share that I bought at $12.60 all the way up to $1,700. That'd be a great return. So I'm actually going to delete this one right here. If we can close this out today and we don't get slammed down by the yellow ATR band here, and we can close above it either today or get above it and close above it on Monday, I will be looking for this to return to this previous cycle high, which is at 1728. I will then reassess whether or not I'm going to sell it there or hold out for a potential run to $2,000 post split, which in that case I would have 10 shares and I'd be looking for it to close them out at $200. Now, I do like this yellow band here. It is a significant level in terms of showing a change of character in the stock. You can see here when it comes below it, like back here on April 4th, it closes below it. We start seeing it creep down to the bottom of the channel. Same thing back here on June 13th, it creeped down to the bottom of the ATR bands. And when it closes above, it tends to creep on up to the top. In this case, the top would be 1650, but if the price starts curling it up, it could go higher than that. And sometimes it does go outside of the band. As you can see here on the top, it'll frequently go outside of the band. So I am looking for it to break this trend line, which it already is breaking that trend line, and then get above this yellow line here at 1449, 1449 something. And once it does that, it's going to go up, up, up. It's going to be great. The other thing that is crazy today is Bit Digital. Bit Digital continues to drive upwards. It is up at 383 today, up 8.5%, leaving its peers in the dust today. And you can see here clearly illustrated, right? Price was below that yellow band back here in April. It got above it in May, struggled a little bit, but now it's just staying solidly in that upper half, only closing below it for a day or two before quickly recovering back into it. And I expect it to continue to use this yellow line here, which is currently at 335 as support as we drive up higher into these fib clouds and potentially beyond. And I would love to see this thing drive up into this ascending trend line all the way up here. And this is much healthier upward movement since April, much healthier upward movement than back here in December. And honestly, it looks very similar to last April. Look at this. Look at this. If I were to, let me turn off all of this. Let me turn off all of this right here. I'm going to get out a tool and I'm going to show you something. All right. So April, let's go April right around here. Okay. Until this was in June that year. So we're going to go up here. Boom. All right. I'm going to drag this over here, put it about right here. Let me make it a little bit brighter. Look familiar? Does this? Let's get this being like something like this. Boom. Perfect. All right. That looks great. Look familiar? Perhaps. Almost the exact same price action as last summer. We're just waiting for that final little push up. In this case, it takes up to maybe $5. I am expecting a little bit higher since HPC wasn't even a thing last year for Bit Digital. I am looking for that to take it even higher and hit this trend line up here around $6 for Bit Digital. So believe you me, weird way of saying that, this thing's going higher. That is my assessment of this, and I do believe that, and I'm holding thousands of shares of this thing, and I'm looking for it to go up to that $6 range. That's going to be amazing. Now, someone's buying Bit Digital, and I've got to go over to my Sage tracker on my Webull app here for this now. So let's go into here, and I'll go to Sage tracker, and we are going to go to ownership, not Sage tracker, excuse me, profile, institutions. Then we're going to scroll down to buying and selling, right? Okay, so buying. This is, you can see here, this is 6/30, so June 30th, 2024. As of June 30th, 2024, these are the buyers and sellers. BlackRock UK bought 2%. BlackRock Fund Advisors also bought 2%, a little bit. Irish Life bought 26%. So we're getting a little bit of nibbles from BlackRock again. Now remember, BlackRock was buying tons of it before, but the fact that they're adding to it now, I know that's a small amount, but they don't need to do that. They already own more than 10% of this company. Why are they adding more? I mean, it's not a lot. Trust me, it's not a lot. They've added significantly more than this in the past. But just the fact that they're even bothering to add to this position right now, even after it's been running up and after it's gone up and, been so crazy up and down for them while they've been holding it for like the last 2 years, I like seeing that the fact that they're actually buying a little bit of this. And if we go back to, I think last month, was there anything interesting last month? Yeah, last month, well, March. In March, they bought 20% more. So March was like back in, the price range somewhere between $3 and $2. They were buying 20%. They increased their position by 20%. BlackRock did in March, and they haven't done anything since then. And in June, they nibbled a little bit more, meaning that they think that it could go a bit higher. That's interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Mara as well. Mara was the other one that was getting some buys. So we go to this one, company profile. We're going to scroll down to institutions. And we look in here, and you can see BlackRock increased their Mara position in June by 31% nearly. That was just BlackRock Fund Advisors. Their UK division increased by 18.9%. State Street increased by 18.48%. Danske Bank, Danish Bank, bought 22.42% more last month. And the list goes on. There's more in here as well. Like this thing is just going up and up and up. Anyone selling it out of Mara right now, like Naples Money Management, you screwed up. Vanguard, that was last month. So that's going on with Mara. Now let's go take a look, just for the sake of it, at RIOT. How is RIOT looking in terms of company purchases or institutional purposes? Excuse me. Let's see here. BlackRock increased by 5%. Okay, that's good. State Street by 45%. They really think that they're going to come and make a turnaround. Yeah, BlackRock just 2%. State Street 45%. I don't know what a Senegon is, so I'm not going to comment about it. City State Bank, I don't know what that is. They increased by, like, they bought, what, 10 shares? Okay, that's nothing. That is it in terms of interesting buys for Riot. Not much. So similar to something really small like Bit Digital. Now let's take a look at CleanSpark as well, since we're here. Profile, institutions, and we're going to come down here, and you can see that BlackRock in June bought 13.73% more CleanSpark. State Street, 26% more. BlackRock UK, 12% more CleanSpark. Danske Bank, they started a position in CleanSpark in June with 5,000 shares. It's not a lot, but I could probably bought that much. But they're doing it. Institutions are buying the Bitcoin miners again. They've been buying them last month, and they're not going to buy them. They don't think that they're going to go up soon. So that's pretty interesting. Now let's take a look at Mara on the chart here. We're going to do Mara real quick. Mara is actually up 7% today. That's pretty good, actually. Now it's above that 1980 level. That's what I want to see. We do need to conquer this thing. Look how this ATR bands have basically been going sideways since May. We need to get above 20. Let me turn on there we go. Okay. 2061. We got to get above 2061, and then we got a shot at 23 very quickly if we do that. All this sideways motion in Mara, man, I'm telling you, when this thing is done going sideways, it's going to go parabolic. And I'm telling you, BlackRock thinks the same for Mara. And that's going to be quite interesting. Let's take a look at Riot. How's Riot doing today? It's up 5.16%. That's good. It also is coming up on its mid-level ATR band here at $10.02. We got to conquer $10. Once we conquer $10 on Riot, and I think the end of July, when they come out with their production report, we might actually see some movement on Riot, assuming that they get that 22 exahash hashing instead of screwing around with Bitfarms. Do your job, Riot. Get the hash online. All right, that's all I got to say about Riot. BitF. Bitfarms is up 2.86%, so they're lagging a little bit today. There are no Bit Digital today. It is in this descending channel. It is going flat here now. This does look a little bit like a bear flag. And these three candles right here look a little bit like a bear flag. I don't like that. And I can tell you, I don't believe institutions have been buying Bitfarms. I'm not exactly sure why. Bitfarms seems like a prime candidate to be purchased by institutions, but at least the ones, at least not big American institutions aren't buying, I don't believe. But let me take a look real quick just so I am sure. Actually, never mind. This changed. I need to screen grab this. Hold on. 3, 2, 1, recording. BlackRock bought 14% in Bitfarms last month, meaning they think it's going higher. That's cool. I don't know what this one is. Exchange traded CON. Don't know what that means afterwards. BlackRock UK bought 10% more in June. Plutos, that looks like a German word afterwards. Closed out the position in May. You're going to regret that probably. And that's it. We got BlackRock back in on Bitfarms. Now that is exciting. I like to see that. I didn't look at that one ahead of time. I didn't think that they were a big owner in Bitfarms. And as I look at their ownership, yeah, BlackRock has an average of 163. It's a little bit lower than mine. They own 0.3% of the company, and they only have $2.5 million invested into it versus Investco that's got $30.1 million invested in it. State Street, $9 million. Is Vanguard on here anywhere? Vanguard is not on this list. So the fact that BlackRock increased their position in Bitfarms by 15% last month, that's really good. That's a good thing. I like seeing that. That's pretty great. All right, let's take a look at HUT. How's HUT doing today? HUT is recovering nicely. Okay, HUT is doing a recovery. Yeah, it's staying above this yellow, and this yellow band may just end up being support here. Let's take a look at IREN. How is IREN doing today? IREN, ooh, oh. See what I was talking about with this middle band here on the ATR? it closed below it. This was even before the short report came out. It was below it. And as soon as that short report came out, it went straight for the bottom of the bands. And now it's getting a little bit of a recovery day today. It's up 10%, which is nice to see, but it does need to get over 1396 before it's like back in on track in this big crazy upward move. The fact that we went below, I mean, if we close above 1126, I'll be feeling pretty good about it, but I do want to watch this yellow level here for IREN. I'm constantly iffy about IREN, honestly, not because of IREN. It's not IREN's fault. It's because I have a lot of Bitcoin miners already. Like a significant portion of my portfolio is in Bitcoin miners right now. And I'm very cautious about adding more to my portfolio. So I am looking for strength. I am looking for things that are very likely going to go up versus anything concerning like any concerning movement. And I'm like, I'll wait because I have I have the privilege of being able to wait because I have a sizable Bitcoin miner portfolio that is really up right now, and I'm doing more wealth management in terms of like protecting my money versus trying to grow my portfolio right now. So that's why I'm being so patient on IREN. That's just, full disclosure there. Let's take a look. CORZ. CORZ, how's CORZ doing? It is, ooh, I don't like this. I think CORZ, if CORZ ends up going below 949, I think we're going to make a very quick move down to 830 and potentially move our way down even a little bit lower than that on CORZ right now. I don't like that closure beneath the ATR bands. We're also we opened up below this ascending channel here, and it is coming right up on the bottom of it and finding resistance. I do see this coming down more as a result of that. That's all the ones I'm gonna. Oh, let's look at WULF. Let's look at WULF. Forgot about WULF. Let's look at WULF. WULF is up 7.79%. It is hugging this yellow line here. It could go either way. Honestly, this looks like it could be a bear flag, but if it closes out above like that 515 area, we could find ourselves back at $6. Like WULF is constantly throwing me off. I never know what WULF's gonna do. That thing's crazy. So that's the miners for right now. Let's take a look at IWM real quick. IWM is still on a heater. It went up to 213, way above our 210 level where I wanted to get in on this thing. It did it all in 2 days, all while I was sleeping. That sucks. Anyways, one thing that is giving me some hope here. One, it is outside of the ATR band, so it really needs to come back to that at the 209 area. If I go, not indicators, if I go and turn on the 5-day moving average, SMA number 1 there. If I turn that on, the 5-day moving average is all the way down at 206. Price needs to, or the 5-day moving average needs to catch up to price, and I need to see how it interacts with it before I'm in on IWM, before I'm going to say that this is a sustained move. Now, this candle up here, don't like this at all. It's going to end up being an abandoned baby candle, meaning that tomorrow, if price does any type of gap down and drop tomorrow, this is going to look like an abandoned baby candle, and we could find ourselves all the way back down at 210 or even lower than that, seeing what happens tomorrow. So if this momentum does not continue, which, I mean, how can it? Look at it's moved so it went from 200 all the way to 215 in 3 days. This is unsustainable momentum. It's going to cool off, and when it does, I'll be waiting for it to do that. So the next thing I want to talk about, two things actually. One, CRISPR. CRISPR is kind of interesting right now. This is one of those companies that's going to benefit from AI. It's also going to benefit from interest rates lowering. That's pretty interesting. You can see that it's already started to recover since now this is the 1-hour chart. So it's already been recovering, like it came down into July, and now it's starting to recover. One thing I'm looking at here is the ATR bands on the 1-hour chart. What do I like about this? I like the fact that it came to the yellow band and paused. It didn't cut through it. Now this could end up being an area of support where it stays in between the yellow and the red and drives up higher. The other thing I'm interested in this particular chart is the fact that this looks like a cup and handle. And if we break above the handle, which in this case would be about $58.49, well, then in that case, I will be looking for it to quickly find its way back up towards around that $63, maybe even $65 range off of this move on CRISPR. So that is a little play to pay attention to be aware of. One more that I didn't actually plan on doing. Oh, actually two more that I didn't actually plan on doing now that I think about it. One, SQ coming back They're coming back. Look at this. Look at this. It's coming back. As soon as it got above my level here at $66, back up to 70. I've got too much going on right now, so I didn't play it, but look at this. And it has room all the way up to $72, $73 before it gets stuck in this resistance over here. Now, it is way outside of the ATR on the 1 hour, but if we went to like the 4 hour, I bet you it's still outside of it. Yeah, it's still outside of it. This thing's not going to make any sense for a little while. We're going to want to see it come back a little bit. We're going to want to see this cool off or go flat and we're going to want to see this do a bull flag a little bit before I'd be interested. We do have an inverted head and shoulders down here at the bottom of the move, and we do have room all the way up to $73 from here on this. This thing, it came out of this descending channel I had drawn here, and it just started rocketing as soon as we started getting good news about rate cuts, because this is a rate cut sensitive company right here, and this one is likely to do very well here short term. The other one I wanted to look at that I haven't looked at in a while with you is Adobe. Adobe is cooling off. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It's doing a little cool off here. I love that. Come back to me. So I want to see Adobe come back exactly where it's coming to, which is this yellow line here, which if I turn it on so everyone can see it on the price scale here, and I can name it accurately, 548.07. So $548. Went all the way up to 580, and it's going to come back down to about 548. You're going to see how it interacts with that. It could come a little bit lower, maybe even like 535, and interact with this bull flag from before. We'll see if it does that, but 548 for sure is where I'm looking. And once it does that, I'd be looking for it to face out, maybe curl back up and break out of this descending channel that it's currently in, like so. It'll break out of this, which is pretty controlled, and move back up quickly to 574. And if it takes out this 578 level, which is the top of the body of the peak, the recent peak, if we can do that, I am looking for a move to the top of this big descending channel here, which would be around $610 on Adobe. Now let's talk about one I'm actually in right now. Ooh, this is actually doing well. Okay, NVDA. I'm in this trade right now. I actually bought 3 contracts on this right now. I bought it at the white line. My stop loss currently is at the red line, so I'm in profit. Stopped in profit. If it goes down here, I'll make like $3. But I will cut it there because I don't want to deal with it. It is currently doing a bull flag. It is reaching my area of caution. Now, if it closes, this is a 5-minute chart, by the way. If it closes above this yellow line, which it looks like it's getting ready to do in 1 minute and 27 seconds, and it opens, and the next candle opens up above this yellow line. So it's got to close above and open above. If it can do that, and the candle that opened above the line can hold above the line without touching it. If it can do that, then I'm looking for price to quickly come up to 131. That would put me in some significant short-term profit. I would love that. That would be great. But if I zoom out a little bit more, I'm looking for price to come quickly up to 131.03, right? It takes out this. So if it takes out this area right here, we can take this out. Then it is going into the next wave on the way up. And if we go to, let's say, a 30-minute chart, now let's look at a 30-minute chart. On a 30-minute chart, we came down, we based out, we're doing a bull flag right here. We're doing a bull flag right here. If we do this bull flag and we get above this, there is nothing really in terms of significant resistance all the way up to $133, which stock-wise, not a lot. Option-wise, that's a significant win. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and I will get stopped out, $3 in profit if it doesn't go there. And if it does go there, you know what? I'm going to make a lot of money on that. Now, this isn't telling you to get like me or anything. This is just this trade setup that I saw. I drilled down. I entered in on a 5-minute time frame based on this going down, right? It broke this line. I got a bull flag. I entered on that bull flag, and I was looking for it to break this yellow line here. And if it did, and it did, it just did. Look at that. It just did. It's opening above. And if it can stay above it, not do what this stupid one did back here at 955, if it can hold above this yellow line here, which has got some significant play to do that, I'm looking for a move to the top of the channel. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and have a profitable day.